Look, no hands. Is the walking stick right for you? So the thing with these mountain roads is that they're fun going down. Now I ask you, why would a grown man get on his bicycle and get on a highway? So this would be day 2 of my walking stick use and philosophy video. I'm going to try to answer those questions, or answer the questions that are in this video, and try to make sense of that crazy guy on the bicycle. My answer to that would be to peace and quiet. Yeah, some big trucks will come by, but when they're not around, it's really, really quiet.
How dare you!
I always keep some of that stuff nearby. And for my knife friends, I'm carrying the SE5 today on my bike. Late July and the Smoky River is running high.
Walking stick is a stick.
That little area out there is a nice sandy beach, but it's all covered in water. And I'd have to cross over the river in that area. I'm going to give it a bypass today. Some of you might remember that spot that I've been trying to get to. I call it the Valley of the Raven. I might try going there. Sometimes you got to hoof in the gear. It's used for walking. And we'll leave the bike over there on this side of the guardrail. Should be okay. This really nice heavenly scene. It's going to be a little bit noisier in this area. I got no tripod, so this is going to be a ghetto video. Little creek, I don't even know what it's called, but it's definitely fresh water. I bought a swag of these. They're really small and they're refillable. Little clippers. Bought a bunch in this high green color. Now if you're walking on the trail and you come across some clover and you're feeling a little bit of hunger, very good. Very, very good. There we go. We'll make a coffee, we'll get back on the bike. Wrong footwear for Valley of the Raven. That boils up a heck of a lot faster than that little wooden stove. Let's try some of this. Ah, it's a little bit skinny. Boy, that smells good. Very creamy. This is awkward AF without a tripod. This whole ghetto thing. That's damn good coffee. No Zambuca in the coffee today. Beautiful little spot. No one around. Just the way I like it. I'm keeping my eyes open for some aspen. Not very much in here. That's all poplar mostly. Okay, goodbye, little creek. Hello, grueling ride home. So it was somewhere around here I found that rusty old Leatherman Surge. And after finding that Surge, it rejuvenated me to make some more videos and then send it off to Leatherman. If you're new to this channel and you're watching this video, yeah, I sent it off to Leatherman. They sent me a brand new one. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, my channel was pretty much on its last legs. I had lost all interest. And here I am now, still going. Okay, so I'm on my way up now. You can see there's a really nice stand of aspen. And one thing I've noticed about the aspen is that there's always a little crook, almost in the exact same spot on every tree. Here's a really good example here. That's the crook that I've got about, I don't know, about 10 inches from the top of my stick, which means I'd be cut right about here. This crook is in pretty much all of these aspen. And then if I was to follow it through, it might just be perfect. Okay, so I mentioned harvesting a stick in the wild in a survival situation. But sometimes they're just lying around, or in this case, standing around. Whew. Walking stick theory, philosophy. What is a walking stick? What is a walking stick? It's a stick, a pole, a staff, a rod, a shaft, and many other names, I'm sure. What is the purpose of a walking stick? The purpose of a walking stick varies with the individual who uses it. The following are the purposes that I find useful with a walking stick. A walking stick could be used for pointing. A walking stick could be used for measuring or scaling. A walking stick can be used for pacing. A walking stick can be used in defense. A walking stick could be used to help pull you up a hill. A walking stick can be used to take a rest. I call this the Ken Dryden approach. A walking stick can be used for stretching. A walking stick can also be used to make noises. Let animals know that you're nearby. That sound goes a long ways. Now, of course, a walking stick has many, many more purposes. Your mileage will vary compared to mine. I forgot to mention scratching that itch. What is a walking stick made of? Now, a walking stick could be made of pretty much anything you like. Carbon fiber, steel, aluminum, plastic, who knows, whatever you're into carrying. My recommendation has always been a hardwood that's not too heavy. Softwoods tend to be lighter, but not as durable. So try to find something with leaves, perhaps. My highest recommendation is aspen. Where can you find good walking stick material? Now, the best place to find walking stick material is going to depend on what you're making your walking stick from. If you're making it from wood, obviously the best place is going to be in the woods. If you live in a big city, it's going to be a little bit tougher. You're going to have to go out there and find it. Buying one already made is an option, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. If you're lucky enough to have good walking stick material growing in your backyard, highly recommended, which I will show you when we go to make one. What's the best length for a walking stick? For me, with a pair of boots on right now on level ground, the stick should come right up to the bottom of my chin. Any taller, not so good. Any lower, not so good. So right about the bottom of the chin with some decent boots on that you would wear normally in the woods. I like to have my forearm at 90 degrees. And here is the crook that I was talking about earlier. This is a very pronounced crook in this aspen. The balance point is almost perfect. So I've taken the length, the 90 degrees on my forearm on standard walking. Now going up a steep incline, my grip is going to be down here, right? Because the incline is going upwards. Going down a steep slope, my grip is going to be down here. This is going to be supporting me. So right about chin height is about what I find to be good for me. One last thing on the length. When you're putting it together, if you're actually going to do this, pick numbers that are in sync. 10-inch increments, 9-inch increments, whatever the case might be. If it was 60 inches, for example, well, that's an even number. 10, 10, 10. That comes in handy later down the road. Hanging around downtown by myself, and I've had too much caffeine. What's the best thickness for a walking stick? At the thickest end of the walking stick, it's going to depend on your hand. If you've got a really big hand, you can go with a bigger diameter. I use my index or my middle finger here as a guide to touch. If my finger is right about here, that's a really thick walking stick. It's not comfortable. If it's too thin, your hands are in like this, and it's not comfortable either. So I found this to be the sweet spot. The actual number, in my case here, I think is about 1 inch and, I don't know, maybe about 1.25 inches, somewhere in there. But again, it's gonna vary. If it's too thin altogether, if it's really, really too thin from the top, your stick is going to be very flimsy. It's not going to be very durable. Now, there's also uses for those as well. Now, on the thin end, I'm using I believe that's a 3/4 inch ferrule by 1 3/4 or 2 inches. I think it's 3/4 by 2 or 1 3/4. I'll talk more about this when I actually make the walking stick video with you, but it's good to know right now. So this ties into like your 3/4 inch on the stick at the very bottom. It's about 1 inch up here. Depends on your ferrule as well. So your length, you know, your thickness, you're gonna have to carve a little bit anyways to make it fit perfect. But then your total length, your even number, and your thickness over the top, that's pretty much going to determine what your thickness of your walking stick is going to be. Okay, I'm starting to melt. It's time to get to the top of this hill. Oh, it looks nice and cool and fresh up there. What are the advantages and disadvantages of a walking stick over something like perhaps walking poles or trekking poles? Advantages, disadvantages of a walking stick over trekking poles, for example, or trekking sticks, whatever they're called. This is going to be a personal opinion for everybody. It's going to be very different. You might have a really heavy backpack, for example. Let's say you're going out for a week in the backwoods. Trekking poles might come in handy over a walking stick if you're that type of person where you find the balance to be better. But for me, it's always been the walking stick. I've tried the poles. Didn't really like them. My hands would go in the loops. And if I needed to get my hands out quickly, well, now both hands are occupied. So I didn't really like that. This hand right now I'm using to hold the camera. So I can always reach for the bear spray really quick too. So I like that as well for pacing. You probably hear a little bit of a rhythm going on, and I use that as well. So a little bit different. I'm not going to demonstrate, but in a strong stream, I use this because I got longer reach for balancing. So everyone's mileage is going to vary when it comes to walking stick over trekking poles or vice versa. Everybody talking about the bird. It is a word and it's a bird. Bird is a word and a bird. Bird is a word and you know, a bird is a word. No, I have not been drinking. I'm making these bird videos and talking weird, and she's been watching me the whole time. Oh, she's leaving now. Bye. See you in the fall. Are there any other uses to a walking stick other than walking? So another use is when walking in this thicker forest, you got these spider webs kind of sometimes going across and they get in your face. Every now and then I just do one of these and it just busts up anything that's in my path. Now I think the biggest advantage of a walking stick over the poles is simply pride of ownership, pride of craftsmanship. If you make your own, it's connected to you, where you found it, where you made it, who you were with. It seems to be more connected to me than lightweight carbon fiber, black diamond. There's no connection, not to me. Again, your mileage may vary. Chain of fools. Now what about them commercially made walking sticks. You know, you might see them in Jasper, Lake Louise, Banff, or even Yellowstone. You might see them in Yellowstone in a tourist shop. You know the ones I'm talking about. Are those good? Okay, so if you know how many dead people are in there, let me know down in the comments. Tourist walking sticks, I think, would serve a purpose for sentimental reasons, maybe. You're trying to remember a trip. Maybe you're going to pick one up here or there. Maybe it's going to be useful for a little bit. Maybe you're up in age and, you know, it's just something that you want to grab as a tourist for that little guided walk you're about to go on. Hard to say, many reasons why you might get one. For me, as long as I have a brain and two hands, I'm going to try to make my own. Just much better, stronger. I know everything about them. I know everything I need to know about the walking stick that I'm using. And after watching this video, hopefully that'll inspire you, possibly, maybe. Who knows? So at the end of the day, is a walking stick right for you? Well, the only person who can answer that question is you. Clearly, a walking stick is right for me. There you go, ghetto video, no tripod. Kind of a long video for you. Some of you might have stuck around. So I put this video prior to, doing the making the walking stick. While I'm making this, I put out a little post, or I guess it would be a poll post on my channel. What did you want to see as far as what type of tool? Leatherman Surge was put out there, Swiss Champ, Buck 117, and the Cold Steel SRK. At the time of making this particular video, the Swiss Champ is way ahead in the polls. Now there's about 8,000 following this here channel, and only 22 or something like that have participated. So I'll leave it up for a couple more days. So that's the end of this video. In the meantime and in between time, bye for now.